Russo's Playbook. Alright, what's up everybody? We're back with another episode of Russo's Playbook, episode 20. I know we missed a couple weeks here and there, but we are back at it with Hunter and AG. How y'all doing today?
Doing good.
Doing good. Happy to be back.
Yes, sir.
We got busy lives. We had some things going on the past couple weeks, but we back.
We're back at it. Yes, sir. And of course, we'll start off with our favorite segment, Stop That. I'll go right ahead and begin. So I had PFF ranked Mark Sanchez as the worst Jets draft pick since 2006. Now listen, I don't know if they have memory loss or something, but we did draft a guy named Christian Hackenberg in the second round, and he also didn't see the field literally at all. He barely even played preseason because they wanted to hide how bad he was.
Yeah.
And he didn't even make it in the XFL 2 years ago. So,
we
PFF,
are Penn State.
PFF, reevaluate, and please stop that. Out of line right there to me.
I was thinking there's probably a couple other names we could drop. I'm not going to do it to him, but
I won't.
There's a lot of other names besides Christian Hackensberg who
Mike McCagnon's whole three draft classes, 90% of them are out of the NFL right now.
It's embarrassing.
Jeez.
Yeah. So, I think there was plenty to pick from.
Then you got Sam Darnold, you know what I mean? I'm just I'll give it.
Sammy D was probably at least he saw the field, bro.
I'll give him a nod over Mark Sanchez.
Yeah.
Sanchez did get to those championship games, though.
Exactly.
But he got carried there. So, I mean...
it's fair, but he was still the quarterback, so
I was going to say, he still had to do something in order to get there.
He gets some credit for that, you know what I mean? So,
for sure.
Yeah. But, dude, PFF is just... They're always off on, rankings and stuff. I'm always looking at them like... You guys watch football or what?
Yeah.
A lot of head scratchers.
Trying too hard, bro.
Usually you let the interns schedule the post and make the post. You don't let the interns,
do the
ranking. You gotta get somebody in there that's on salary for that. You gotta know what PFF's got going on over there.
No, that's facts. But AG, what you got for number 2?
We gotta stop that for USA basketball, the men's team. They look like they don't want it. You know what I mean? And Dame came out and was like, "Oh, well, these players they play different. They're different when they're playing for their country." It's like, well, you guys are too. This is not good. You know what I mean? I don't know what else to say. You guys take it over somehow.
KD had 10 points. He had 10 points their last game against
Iran,
different
bro. Too, brother.
Against Iran. He was 10-5 and 5.
Out?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I really hope they took him out. I didn't watch the game. I just looked at the stats.
They took him out.
Because the game is at whatever time it was. But he was 10-5 and 5. I was like, no way in hell that this is Kevin Durant, bro.
It's almost Look, there's no excuse for them because no matter what roster we sent out there, this roster is better than any other roster that's out there, right?
100%.
So, but it's not our best.
Yeah.
That's the only bone fair. I can throw them is that we got a bunch of studs sitting on their couch watching the games right now.
Yeah, but our C team should be dominant. Or our D
that's
team
should
that's what I'm saying.
It's not even a valid excuse. That's just the only bone I can give them. But it's not even valid.
Yeah.
It's not even valid. They should still be winning. But, we got Draymond Green starting at the 4 right now. This Draymond Green, this day and age Draymond Green. You know what I mean? It's an issue when it comes to players not wanting to go out and represent the country, which is whatever. But, it's the Olympics. You don't want a gold medal? And my question is, why have we not sent a flight? Somebody send a PJ to Melo and get him into ASAP. What is going on?
Somebody's got to take over.
We need Melo immediately.
Is KD not good enough? Is Dame Lillard
that's
not
what I'm saying.
Up?
We need Melo. Yes,
bro. Devin Booker. Y'all see the picture of Devin Booker sitting on the bench? Just mad, just tight, arms crossed, like a little kid, just eyes down. He was not happy at all. This man is on a 5-game losing streak. I think they just beat Iran, so he just finally got the dub back. But
there we go.
This man is upset, and he's got to play with Drew Holiday, which is fucking put the locks on him, bro.
He had to fly to Tokyo with Chris Middleton and Drew Holiday right after.
Yeah,
that's kind of sucks.
Why do you even accept that? I'm pulling out.
Yeah,
I'm not
doing that.
That's nonsense.
And just where's Trae Young? He wanted to play.
Facts.
Where's so-and-so? They wanted to play. There's people that did want to play that didn't make the cut, and then you got them out there bullshitting, and they're on the court.
Agreed.
Playing
Big
Tokyo,
stop
playing. You know what I mean? It's just USA men's basketball. Stop that.
Go Slovenia. Go Luka. Win me some money.
They got 50-piece nuggets in Slovenia?
Yo, they definitely do. If not, someone stole 2 of them from them. Yeah, 48. They skimped them. Skimped
them on the nugs?
Yeah.
What you got number 3, huh?
So for my stop that this week, it's a UFC stop that, specifically at Conor McGregor. Look, man, I know the UFC is all about talking shit. I know it's all about, like, talking spicy to each other and trying to get into each other's heads. However, we all saw Khabib's tweet saying, congratulating Dustin Poirier and just saying, good defeats evil all the time. McGregor decided to go out and tweet, COVID is good and your father is evil. After Khabib has lost his father to COVID complications not too long ago. And I mean, I'll just get it out the way. The only thing I have to say to that is stop that. Khabib's father's probably like one of the best things that ever happened to this sport, right? He's taking a lot of these kids and guys from Dagestan and tried putting them on the right path and learning about the UFC and giving them an opportunity to make money and just perfect their craft. And they have a whole team now that he's the reason for. And in an interview with Khabib's father, they had brought up McGregor, and he had actually invited McGregor to his home and said that he wanted to show McGregor how beautiful Dagestan is and how beautiful Dagestanians are, and that they are peaceful people and that they show nothing but love, and that's what they grew up on. And he wanted to let bygones be bygones and say, the past is the past. I think we can settle this and, be friends and, like, be men about this. And for McGregor to go out and tweet that about a man who had nothing but respect for him, even after all the things he had said about his family, his religion, his home, his son, and everything in between, it just blows my mind. It's very classless. It's tasteless, to say the least. And it's just something that's been weighing big on my mind. I don't think Khabib's going to come back, but if he did, I would hope they would set up a fight with McGregor so he could beat the living piss out of him. But if not, I got big hopes on my dog Islam, who just broke the top 5 power rankings, that maybe eventually he'll get a fight. And that was Khabib's neighbor growing up. Like, it's basically like his little brother. It's like his cousin. And if not, he's just going to handle his light work, and he's going to beat the piss out of McGregor for him. So, regardless, McGregor's got something coming, because you don't talk about someone's dead father. And, like, that shit isn't going to slide with all these Dagestanians coming in. He's got to come across another one eventually, sometime soon. And that will be a great fight to watch. And I will be sitting there with my popcorn, to say the least.
Dude, I feel like McGregor's kind of at that point where he was using the shit talking as his marketing tool.
Yep.
And it was working so well that he reached a point where, like, it was supposed to be the peak, and then you'd, like, chill a little bit, but he didn't know to stop. And now he's at a point where he's just making himself look like an ass. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And he always has. Don't get me wrong. Like, that's been his thing.
But
like,
he was winning. But he was showing out at the same time, and he wasn't saying shit like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, he might fuck around and be like, like, I only follow your wife on it. Like, that's funny. You know what I mean? Yeah. Whatever. That's fucked up. You know what I mean? So
he's going out real sad. He's going out real sad right now, and it's just for a guy like McGregor too, who started from absolutely nothing, who was on welfare checks in Ireland, fighting in a gym that had like nothing in it, and was getting supported by his wife, to become worth, like, I think he made $220 million last year off of his whiskey and everything included, and to just go from that to what you are now, I kind of wonder if, like, he ever looks in the mirror and he just fucking hates himself. Because I know the rest of the world kind of looks at him from the outside perspective, and we're starting to hate him a little bit.
And he's doing it to himself.
Like, and for all the people who back up McGregor, and you're like a little McGregor stan, like, get real, man. Like, he's not gonna kiss you, all right? Like he's just let it be. And for all these people who think that what he said wasn't that bad and that it was all right, like, you need a reality check too. Especially for him coming at someone like Khabib, who's the most humble man that you'd ever meet. And by the way, who's probably going to go down as one of the best fighters of all time, the best UFC fighters of all time. And when they said that's the other thing. This is what pisses me off, right? Everyone calls Khabib the GOAT, and you want to know what he says? He goes, no, there's multiple GOATs in this UFC, right? There's John Jones, there's the Daniel Cormier, there's the me, there's these guys, there's Henry Cejudo, there's all of these other people. He's like, there's not just one GOAT. He's like, I'm not the only GOAT. This man has never bled in a fight. No one's ever made him bleed. 29 fights, never bled. Like, if you look at his face after every, like, post-fight interview, there's nothing on him.
Yeah.
He's absolutely dominant. this is just keep going on. Everyone tries to trash this man's legacy. It's just like, that's the one thing that pisses me off about the UFC a little bit. That kind of like jerks my nerves a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, it's a long time coming, and I wouldn't be surprised if in the next couple of years we see McGregor start to die out a lot more. And
dude, I think it's here now, man.
I agree. I think it's happening now, especially with that broken foot in the other fight.
Uncle Dana's gonna throw him a little sympathy card though, and probably throw him a sympathy fight just so he can win.
Dana's gonna throw him some bones, but and it'll make him more money if he throws him a couple bones and can finesse another big fight out of him. Yeah. You know what I mean? But yeah, dude, I agree. Like that, McGregor's falling off in that front and and in the ring. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
100%. So.
Yeah, for sure, agree with that. But let's move in some headlines. I know we got some older ones to touch on real quick, and then some new ones coming in. So okay, we gotta kick it off with the NBA Finals. Bucks win. I mean, it's a great win for them at down 0-2. Coming back and everything, winning in Milwaukee in Game 6. I mean, it was awesome to see.
How many people were outside?
80,000. There's
so many people.
I think the official count was there's like a little bit. It was like close to 17,000 in the arena, and I think they only fit like 16 in there. Like I don't know how they ended up pulling that off. Yeah, and then there's 80,000 outside of the arena. So I just imagine that entire place was shaking. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? Like that much. They probably heard the dudes outside from inside and were probably just shook up. Like
that must be why D-Book couldn't find the rim on or the
that was because of Drew Holiday.
Well, I was gonna say, yeah.
Over 7 in a closeout game from 3 D-Book, 19 points. Man.
That's a stop that.
Yeah, that is a stop that. Nah, but you gotta congratulate the Bucks. They played awesome and everything. But I do have a bone pick with the Suns. Is this Chris Paul's final chance? He's done now.
Oh no.
Do you think he's done? No, I'm not done like retired, but like done not getting back to another championship.
So this is where I see it with Chris Paul, right? Because it's either he could ride out with the Suns. I think that team is actually they're very dominant, especially in the West. They maybe need like one more player, or you could say like a little bit better.
I think they really just needed D-Book to hit 2 of those. That's what they needed. Just 2 for 7, and they're in the like. But disappointed me, man.
I think it doesn't matter because regardless if he doesn't stick with the Suns, he's gonna end up going to like the Lakers. And if he partners up with LeBron and AD, it's curtains. I think that's like. I mean, we said the same thing about the Nets, though, right? So anything is possible in the NBA, but I have to think that he tries his hardest to find the way to get back because there's no way he's obviously he's not satisfied with going out like the way that he did, but
here's the thing though, he declined his option because he wants to get paid more money. I don't know if the Lakers can afford what he wants.
Definitely not.
I don't know if the Suns can afford what he wants if they want to re-sign him. I mean, you're thinking of a team like the Knicks who would give him that money, and if the Knicks give him that money, he ain't making championship with that.
Nah, definitely.
I mean, they're growing, but he's not.
Not need more. They need more, and they need more time.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like unless he's gonna take a shorter deal, which at that point, why would you even leave? Why not stay with the deal you have with the Suns?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a tricky situation, and just because he declined it and now he lost in the finals, I don't know if he's gonna make it back to another one.
My whole thing though is
he didn't play well either.
Yeah, not just that, but he's good for the Suns, man. Like you heard from DeAndre Ayton. DeAndre Ayton was like literally like, I'm the man and the player that I am because of Chris Paul. Like he was like, he makes me strive to be better. Like he and they got a great thing going with Monty Williams too. Is like him as the head coach. So I wouldn't be surprised if he sticks around and he makes it work. But it's. What are the odds that the Suns make it back to the finals again next year with the team that they have right now, playing out of the West? Warriors are getting Clay back. It's funny. Warriors are getting Clay back. Like, the West is only going to get stronger. Who knows if Dame Lillard's going to end up leaving Portland and going to the Mavs? That's going to be another team that you have to watch out for. Like, there's going to be a lot of switcheroos happening in the offseason, and I mean, I think that's like the biggest thing of it all. Realistically, that's a great team. I give it up to the Suns. They played fantastic during the year. They played fantastic in the postseason. Took them a little bit to like get the ball rolling, but when they were hot, they were hot. I think what happened in the finals was I think they just got too lackadaisical. They got too comfortable. You go up 2-0 and everyone's chanting Suns in 4, Suns in 4. You probably start to believe it. Kind of forget that you actually got to play the game, and not only play the game. You're playing against Giannis and a bunch of people who really want it.
I was gonna say, you know what I think happened? Giannis.
Yeah. And I'm not saying it's so easy to be like, oh, it becomes a game of who wants it more. Like that's such a cliche thing to say, but I mean, you look at the stats. Giannis wanted it more. He had 14. What was it? It was like 40 44 points and 14 rebounds, and I think 11 out of the 14 were defensive rebounds. Like, he was just there the entire time. Like, he wanted to come down with that ball. He wanted to give his team opportunities. He was draining threes out of nowhere in the last game. So, I mean, and look at, like, Bobby Portis as well. The guy who's like, no, like, I did this for me, but, like, I did this for you guys, too. Like, my work ethic is the same as, like, what Milwaukee is. Like, when you got players who are starting to, like, attribute, like, what their game is to, like, the city that they're playing for, that's a scary sight. They're not just doing it for themselves anymore. They're not just doing it for a ring. Like, they're doing it for a bunch of random people they don't even know, but they're getting, they're there with it. Like, that's it. So,
but dude, Giannis showed up too, man.
Yeah.
Giannis showed up, like,
and that's all he had to do.
Point.
Yeah,
that's all he had to do. He had to be on that attack 24/7, and he can control that game. The Suns don't have any big that's gonna compete with that.
Yeah, right. DeAndre Ayton did his best.
But like
he's 22 years old, man. He's got a lot to learn, and he did a great job. I tell you, I'm very, very excited to watch DeAndre Ayton for the rest of his NBA career because I think he's going to do better. I think he's going to be better. Again, it's just Suns are a young team. Milwaukee is also. It's kind of like a bunch of players who really came together. Drew obviously came over from the Pelicans, like a lot of these guys, and a lot of people were saying like, was it enough or is it enough? And turns out it was.
Yeah.
It's a defensive team.
I don't know which episode it was, but we can check the archives if you don't believe me. But when they got Drew Holiday, I did say that's a difference maker for the Bucks.
Yeah, you did. I remember that.
I was like, yo, that's exactly what they needed. Did I think that they were going to win a championship based on that? No. But I was right about that being exactly what they needed. I'll tell you that.
That definitely worked out.
Him locking D-Book up and forcing all those turnovers from Chris Paul, like whoever he was matched up with on any given play, he was doing his thing, man. You know what I mean? And I think it was game 5 where he saved the game.
Oh,
with the strip.
With the strip.
Oop to Giannis, like Drew Holiday, man, he showed up.
That was poetry in motion, man.
The first 2 games, he wasn't playing well either, and the Suns won.
Yeah.
You saw him flip the switch. The series flipped the switch.
Yeah.
That was a difference maker right there.
Yeah.
I said that.
Shout out to Chris Middleton, too, man, averaging like 24, 25 points during the entire thing.
He had the most go ahead or tie the game buckets in like the last minute.
Yeah, you're right. I saw that statistic
of all times
too.
In the finals. He tied with LeBron.
Yeah, tied with LeBron for it. Yeah,
like 18 shots that were like or something like that in the playoffs or whatever it was. He was making the clutch buckets every time they needed it the entire playoffs.
Yeah, they were literally just like, "Where's Chris?"
They need a bucket.
Down by 2. Chris. Where's Chris?
And I don't know why the defenses weren't like, "Where's Chris?"
That's facts. But that'll wrap up the NBA Finals talk we had. We'll move on to some NFL.
Go Bucks.
Go.
Shout out Trevor.
Shout out to my boy Trevor. Go Bucks.
All right, so we'll move on into the NFL training camps opening. So we got Aaron Rodgers. Plans to come back and play with Green Bay.
Oof, who would have thought?
Yo,
we were very against that.
It's crazy because a week ago I'm like, yo, Hunter, they said he's about to retire next week. Russo might have been right.
Yeah,
we might have something here.
I had the clip and everything.
I'm like, yo, we have something here.
Jeopardy was calling my boy's name, bro. You know what, though? Good for Aaron Rodgers, man. Like, hey, he's...
The Last Dance with him and Devontae?
And he got exactly what he wanted, and same with Devontae.
Yeah.
He's going to rework a deal where he gets paid big this year, and then he's a free agent. Devontae Adams, free agent. They posted the same Instagram story
Last
of Jordan
Dance.
and Pippen. Yep.
But they got to go get a chip, though.
Yeah.
Because
that's fair.
MJ's trainer came out. He made a good point. He was like, yo...
Don't compare yourself to 6 rings.
He's like, bro,
you don't have
6
one
rings
together.
to 0.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That was real spicy talk.
I was like, makes sense. But I get what they were going for with posting the picture, you know what I mean?
All right, so let's talk about this real quick. Nick, you think they got enough? You think they got enough for the Super Bowl? To make a Super Bowl run? Yeah, they got to play lights out. But
here's the thing. It all depends on what defense shows up. If we had defense from 2019, they could take it. Yeah. If they have a defense from 2020, it's going to be the same as last year.
I agree.
They're going to fall short.
Okay.
So it all depends what they do with their defense and how they deploy it. I thought they got a new defensive coordinator in there. But I think it all depends on defense. Because Rodgers and Devontae Adams going to ball out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's no
Aaron
question.
Jones going to ball out. They've got that, what was it, 2nd or 3rd round draft pick, that wide receiver they picked up. He's
from
good.
Clemson.
I was about to say, it was slipping my mind, but they picked somebody up.
Yep.
Yeah.
So he's okay. And they traded for Randall Cobb.
This
get
morning.
Aaron Rodgers' old friend back.
Yep.
Which I just...
Randall's washed.
Maybe
a little confidence boost. Maybe a little confidence boost.
He can play in multiple, like he can play in a lot of different spots.
Yeah, he's versatile. Yeah, I agree with that.
That's clutch coming in, and that's just another body. Like, we've been talking about Aaron Rodgers' weapons forever. Like, Randall Cobb's not going to be like a superstar, but
they already got the
another
chemistry.
body there.
They got the chemistry too. They've played together forever. I got some faith in Randall Cobb. Not making like a huge comeback, but just being like a key player of some idea. Like me, I imagine he's gonna finish with maybe like 600 yards, maybe like 4 touchdowns. But that's enough. That's
what's the white guy from the Bucks?
Scotty Miller.
He's a Scotty Miller.
Yeah,
he's what Aaron Rodgers needed. You know what I mean? Where you could just throw him in the slot, send him on some go routes. If he's open, he'll catch it. You know what I mean? That type of thing. And that's what they needed.
Now to bring that up, that's pretty accurate because Amari Rodgers is basically a second form of Randall Cobb. Mm-hmm. So if you want him to be your Randall Cobb when Randall Cobb's done, I mean, you're throwing him right in there.
Well, no, I mean, you're probably throwing him right at number 2. You know what I mean? You're putting him at the 2, I would say.
I think they've been gassing up Valdez Scantling.
I don't think
the pencil wins that battle. The pencil wins that battle, I guess. Pencil wins that battle, bro. But
you couldn't even say without laughing. You couldn't even say without laughing.
I mean, they're gassing him.
I know they're gassing him, but you take Valdez Scantling's bum ass and you put him on any other team and he's trash. I do not care. Like, I will argue that until I'm red in the face. Like, he looks good because of Rodgers, bro. He looks good because of Rodgers. Like,
they still got Alan Lazard, though.
It seems like there's some.
I don't hate Lazard. That's my thing. I would take Lazard over Scantling any day of the week.
It seems like there's some sports betting animosity in these comments, but
leave my terrible bets out of this. Whatever. All right, I won't trash Valdez Scantling that bad. He came up pretty clutch for Rodgers a couple times last year.
One thing about him is that it's just like he'll get his like 6 catches for 87 yards one game and like a touchdown,
and then the next game he'll get 2 catches for 100 yards and like a touchdown. He doesn't make any sense. And then the next game he goes 0-0-0. So I mean, it's the most inconsistent wide receiver I've ever seen on the face of this planet. Yeah, he's Marcus Valdez Scantling, bro. God. I hope he makes me eat my words, bro. I hope he comes out and has like a 12 touchdown season and 1,000 yards out of nowhere. But God, man,
we root for them to do good. It's just funny when I don't know, man. We've been saying that they need a number 2, and they stuck with those guys. It's just it's been a long time.
We'll see how we got to see how this rookie pans out. Like, he might take number 2.
Yeah.
But regardless, point is, Cobb is probably going to be your 4 guy. You're going to throw him in certain sets where it makes sense for him to be in the game, try to get him open. He's going to have his like 2, 3, 4 targets a game. And Randall Cobb, you can trust him to make the most of them and catch the rock. You know what I mean? So
big facts.
All fair points. But in another touchy news, so a quarterback that also came into camp, Deshaun Watson. Now he still has all these allegations against him. I think he's up to 22. I think 10 of them are now women that haven't filed the lawsuit yet, so I don't know if that adds up to 32. It's a sticky situation. But he showed up to camp. He's ready to go. He had to take his physical. And the Texans said they're finally open to trading him. I mean, you're a little late.
Dude,
a little late.
I heard he went into camp and like immediately just went and reiterated the fact that he wants to be traded. Like, he showed up to camp to be like, yo.
Don't forget you got traded. That's on your calendar.
He's like, yo.
I don't know if you forgot, but I still don't want to be here.
I think that's exactly why.
You know why I'm here.
Yeah.
Bro, what are they going to get from my guy
physical to make sure he's cleared to be traded.
Yeah, exactly. I think he went to get traded.
Yeah. What are they going to get from him now? A 6-inch sandwich and a bag of chips? Like, maybe a small Diet Coke? Like, they're not getting anything for him at this point, bro. They just the Houston Texans just like ripped this man apart, ripped him down. You know, I think that I personally think they had something to do with like all of these allegations, the way it all spiked out and hit the news, because they didn't like try and sweep anything under the rug for him, as they shouldn't. You know, this is a very touchy subject, especially nowadays. But they just let it all fly out, right? Yeah. And not a single one of those people was trying to like protect or like help his name. They were probably trying to protect and help their own. I get it. But for them to do all of that in the past 2 months and then finally be like, all right, we'll trade him. Like, bro, where was that 2 months ago when you could have gotten so many draft picks, so many key players? Like, you're not getting anything from him now. We don't even know if he's going to play.
Yeah,
like,
that's the scary part.
He might be actually like kind of like kicked out of the league for a little bit here. And
here's what I'm confused about, because the NFL had the new rule where whether or not you're found guilty we can still suspend you if we don't like what you did. So with the whole Zeke thing, they suspended him even when he wasn't guilty.
Yep.
There's plenty of circumstances. I'm not going to run through them all because they're all different in different cases. Yep. But the point being is that you have 22 built-up allegations. You can't sit here and say, well, he could play.
No.
I mean, we're not... Because they came out and said, listen, there's an investigation going on. We're just going to sit back. And it's like... I'm not saying you have to suspend him now, but, like, we've seen you jump the gun before.
Yeah.
If you don't think a suspension is coming, whether he's found guilty or not, you're crazy. I think he's getting at least 6, if not the whole season.
Bro, that's what I'm saying. I'm worried that he might get multiple seasons. Yeah. Like a season and a half, 2 seasons of having to sit out. Like, this is... They're like you said, it's 22 allegations with a possible 10 more on top. All of them being just about the same exact story. All of them being massage therapist. Everything in between, fingers are pointing at this being a terrible situation. The NFL decided not to act on it at first, and then it ghosted. You didn't hear nothing about it for the past 2 or 3 months. Like all Bleacher Report, all of these other sports media companies stopped talking about it. And now that they're going to actually look out and go for trades. All of this is going to come back up. The NFL is going to be under a very, 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 very hot seat, or sitting on a very, very hot seat, I should say. Yeah. But regardless, like, what team wants to take that in? Like, I hate to be that guy, and, like, I'll knock on wood because I do not agree with what Deshaun Watson did. He should be in trouble. He should have to sit out games. He should.
Because he did also, my bad to interrupt, he did also agree that sexual things have happened. I'm pretty, but like they weren't forced or anything.
Yes.
So they can be correct. Like 22 allegations can happen. It's just that if are they lying about being forced or not? Like that's where I'd see it.
That's
you know what I'm saying?
Down to, and we can't be the ones to call that.
No, that's out of our hands.
You guys are making all good, it's all good points.
But dude, my whole point is, I think the worst case scenario, and it's not really like out of the window, but like we might not see Deshaun at all. Ever again. Yeah. Like this might be one of those things. On how this goes, might be like a Ray Rice type scenario where it's like, no, you're kicked out. Like you're not coming back, and like let all of these 22 allegations be true, man. Like that's jail time. You're going to prison, sort of thing. So at this point in time, it's just like why even throw his name up for trade? Like maybe you do that a little bit more secretly. But I don't know.
It's just a sticky situation.
It's a secret.
Yeah, I know, but it's just a terrible situation.
Yeah.
It's not gonna end well.
You guys made all good points. Like the only thing I wanted to say when you said like how they haven't been like sweeping it under the rug at all, or like blah blah blah. Like if only some of them are true or something, I would not be surprised if they did somehow, because the difference between them jumping the gun on Zeke and not waiting for a guilty or not guilty thing, and other players as well, Deshaun Watson brings in a lot of money.
Sure.
Yeah.
They're not jumping the gun on that. They're going to wait until this plays out.
Quarterback.
They're going to make them say he's guilty of all of these before they suspend him. You know what I mean? So if this investigation is still going, I don't see them suspending them without a verdict.
I know he brings in. I know he brings in money.
That's true.
It's just but all you got to think about how they look at it. It doesn't matter what's moral.
But you're trying to tell me Zeke and Ray Rice didn't either? Ray Rice was a number. Yeah, I know, but it's
he's a quarterback, face of a franchise.
There's some more commas there, brother.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
And I'm sure the Texans were fighting it too because they wanted to keep him. So they're like, listen, hey, we got to solve this, but like no suspension if he's found not guilty. Like I'm sure they're working with the NFL to make sure
keep him or to keep
get
his trade value.
Yeah, exactly.
What if that's why they are trying to get rid of him?
A chance for
what if like a little birdie was just like, hey, it's not looking good for your boy, and they're like,
trade.
Eject.
You know what, Deshaun, you want to get out?
Dude, that might be possible too, man.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like I'm just bringing up that possibility of why they wouldn't jump the gun on Deshaun, but they would be more willing to do it on like some of the lower caliber players. Like not that Zeke's lower caliber. But it's just one example. But there's other examples where, down the totem pole, they would jump the gun and be like, we don't need a guilty verdict. Yeah. You're out for 6 games, whatever the case is. They're not going to do that to Deshaun, I don't think.
And you made a great point, too, because if they do wait and he isn't found guilty, he could play this whole season.
Right.
And then they suspend him at the end of the season. Now he carries in next year.
Exactly.
So it's like, it's same with...
it would depend on when a verdict comes, if it's a guilty verdict or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't see them jumping the gun, though. But what were you saying? Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, like, the Jets quarterback, Jets tight end, he was a rookie in his rookie year, got DUI at the end of the year. So they just carried that suspension into the next season. So That would happen here. So regardless, he's gonna get that suspension somewhere. I feel like.
Yeah, if things come out to be true. I mean, because
then at that point,
who knows? 6 games into the season, it might come out that everything got dropped, and
then who knows after that? Yeah, that's up to the NFL
at that point. Yeah.
Do you even trade for him at that point though? Like, if you're a team who needs a quarterback, would you even pick him up with the risk of knowing that?
Here's who I'm going to tell you who's going to do it.
For like a 5th and 6th rounder.
Here's exactly who's going to do it.
6-inch sandwich and a bag of chips.
Texans problem at that point. Go ahead, Russo.
Here's exactly who's going to do it. Mid-season, if it happened, Eagles or Dolphins. Because mid-season, they are playoff-ready team. Or not playoff-ready teams, but getting there. A good quarterback away.
Well, Eagles are playoff-ready, given that they're in the NFC East.
That's
all facts. 4 of them are playoff-ready without being ready.
Think about it. You throw Deshaun Watson on the Dolphins, that's going possible Super Bowl. You throw him on the Eagles, that's guaranteed playoffs.
You're not believing in Tua?
Well, that's what I was going to say. That's why mid-season it could happen.
If they're not playing well.
If they're not playing well. That's
I
key.
knew where you were going with that, but you think that's...
I like Jalen Hurts. I like Jalen Hurts. I think he's going to be good. Tua's still iffy on me, man.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I think it's just because the coach didn't let him play.
Yeah.
I mean, he kept pulling him and starting fits. Like, let's just see the rookie. If he blows it, he blows it. But let's just see what he got. Stop pulling him half the way through the game, throw him back in the 4th, take him back out.
Yeah. That's not good for a player's like mental health either.
Yeah.
Like the sense of like, dude, do you want me or not?
Yeah, exactly. Do you trust me to lead the team or not? Like, and clearly they didn't.
Yeah, God, I can't agree with you more, Nick. I think you hit the nail on the head with that because it's one of those things where it's just like, man, like, cause he plays a different form of football in my opinion. Like he can run, he can throw, but is it me or and when he played for Alabama, he played with a whole different kind of confidence than what he's shown in the NFL. Like in the NFL, I get it. Like you're playing with the big boys. Like it could be a little bit nerve-wracking, but he's not making the same decisions that he did when he was on that Alabama field.
He's playing on a new hip too.
Well, I was gonna say, do you think that hip injury?
And that was his first, go around with it. So that might not stick with him, but it might.
But it might,
Yeah, but that's the only thing I would say about that. Like, he might change his game a little bit, but it might be because he's like, I'm not doing that again. I want my hips. I'm just going to sling the rock.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Big facts.
No, but speaking of quarterbacks real quick, are we about to transition?
No, you're good. I had to call. No, what's up?
Did you guys see Gardner Minshew's quote?
That was my next topic. This way, you go ahead. Take it away. Go ahead.
Dude, they were talking about, how obviously they drafted Trevor Lawrence. We all know Trevor Lawrence is about to start. They're talking to him. He's like, in preparation for this quarterback competition, I haven't taken a shit in weeks because number 2 is not an option for me. Number 2 is not an option, I'll tell you that.
That man's
Yo, I hope he somehow beats out Trevor Lawrence for this spot, bro.
Starts the season.
I don't care if they go 0-16 or 0-17, whatever it is. Like, I need Minshew out there, bro. I need him out there in some form of way.
He beats him out. They're talking to him the week before game 1. They're like, "Oh, well, you won the competition." He's like, "Yeah, finally take a shit." I'm fucking struggling the last couple
Dude, he's a nutcase, man. I've read so many stories about him in college, and I can't remember the name of the college for Washington State when he. Or the coach for Washington State when he was there.
Mike Leach?
Yeah, Mike Leach. But if you know who Mike Leach is, he's this awkward, weird guy. Like, his post-game interviews.
He's savage, though.
Yeah. He says, like, some crazy shit. But apparently, like, Minshew used to walk around in, like, a man-thong in the locker room and, like, just go up to him and, like, party boy him and, like, just do mad weird things. Like, bro, this guy's been a menace since college and he just never grew up, and I'm here for it, bro. I
want him to find somewhere where he can start and thrive just for that personality.
I need him to be the new Fitzpatrick and go to every team in the NFL and just slowly change every locker room to just being a bunch of like psychopaths. I need that in the NFL, man.
I could see him growing into a Fitz. Like, he just hangs around for some reason because sometimes he's good.
He can play a little bit.
This man will throw 4 touchdowns, have 3 interceptions, a fumble, and like 357 yards, and win the game by like 1 point.
Or lose the game with a smile.
Yeah, and he's like, dude, that was a crazy game though, right? It's just like, bro.
He's like, you guys like watching it though, right?
It's a good time, man.
No, he's the definition of entertainment. He's exactly what the NFL needs.
For sure.
I think Hunter just bangs with him because of the Flo Bros.
Yeah, that too, man.
Flo Bros.
I don't know. He's just one of those guys where it's like, yo, like, I'd want to hang out with Gardner Minshew. Like, I'd love to go out to, like I don't know.
Ever since you heard that Party Boy story, huh?
Yeah. This guy. No, bro. It's just like, he seems like a wild card. You go out to the bar with that guy, are you kidding me?
It sounds like, to me, it's either you're going to be fighting somebody or you're going to be having a great time.
That's exactly what I'm looking for. That is exactly what I'm looking for on my nights out. Yeah, man. I'm with it. That's the energy I need.
Let's collect ourselves and get into a normal topic, I should say. It's actually big news, so let's get serious here. Texas and Oklahoma plan to leave the Big 12, join the SEC. That is huge news. I mean,
I don't even know how to feel about it.
R.I.P. to the Big 12. That's the only way. That's all they had, bro.
R.I.P. to like Power 5 conference being a thing, because that means that it's SEC and Big 10 really. Like,
I'm surprised. I'm surprised the SEC let them in. Like not only the basis of
hell too.
Yeah, like obviously it makes
money.
It makes that so competitive. It's gonna bring in so much money and stuff. But like that is. Like, it's SEC versus the world now. Yeah. Big Ten is not competing with that anymore. And I mean,
I just meant that's, like, the only other, like, that you could even consider a power conference at that point. Yeah. If Oklahoma and Texas leave the Big 12, the ACC?
At this point...
Big Ten. They're the only... It's a power 3. Really,
I wouldn't even put the ACC up there, bro.
That's what I'm saying. It's Big Ten. ACC is somewhere down there.
It's like, but like the gap is like SEC is here, then it's like Big Ten, then it's like ACC.
No, the crazy part is the gap. That's already the gap.
Yeah.
You add Texas and Oklahoma to that, bro. It's
What's
over.
that schedule gonna look like though?
Like, see, this is what I'm saying. They gotta say, stop the nonsense. Put it into 4 squares, and there you go. Break it up into 4 there. Stop with this nonsense. Well, I'm going to leave. We're going to add more people here. We're the Big 12. Now back to Big 10. You know what I'm saying?
Seriously.
Well, the Big 10 isn't even 10. The Big 10's like 14.
It's like, so, like, 14. I don't even... Come on, man. It's just getting crazy out here.
Speaking of the schedule, that's a great point, because even LSU, Joe Burrow's LSU championship run, they went, what, 14-0?
Yeah.
They played 7 top 10 teams that year. They went. They every other week they were playing a top 10 team.
Yeah.
Without Oklahoma and Texas being in the SEC.
That's gonna be tough.
It is. Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's gonna be great competition for them and for that.
I give them credit for stepping up and wanting to be in that conference. Because if I'm Texas or if I heard like Oklahoma's going, I'm like, all right, well, this is a shoo-in for us in the Big 12 every single year. Like, Oklahoma State's competing with us? No. Like, that's all they got left, really. When
Kansas?
No. Like, I mean, it's just like they literally decided to throw themselves at the wolves, which I respect. Like, you like competition, but I hope this don't come back to bite you in the ass when you go 6-4.
Is this a?
You're not making crazy bowl games anymore.
Well, I was gonna say, okay, so if that division is weaker, conference is weaker, and somebody goes 12-0, I mean, playing weaker teams. He gets into the playoffs. Now you got to play Alabama. Now you got to play Clemson. I mean, it's just going to be a quick boot. It's just going to be a quick boot. No competition there.
You guys think there's a chance that this is happening? That they're doing that to kind of make it harder for Bama? Maybe give them a little more comp? Give them a tougher schedule.
All right, here's why.
Because you brought up the point of, then you're going to run into Bama. Yeah. But are you? Are they going to be undefeated with that schedule?
Hear me out.
Are they going to do it every year still?
You want to know why they will?
Those 2 teams?
You want to know why they will? All right. I've been thinking about this a lot. College athletes can get paid now, right? Mm-hmm. If you're going to go to a team to get paid, what team are you going to?
Dude, their freshman quarterback's already
a millionaire.
Yeah.
So no. Realistically, think about this. You want to go? You want to make some money in college football? Bro, Texas, see you later. Oklahoma, see you later. Yeah. I'm going on one visit and one visit only. Alabama.
I disagree with the Texas part there. They have their own network.
They do. They do. You're right. Very valid point. But still, at the end of the day,
it's Alabama level. But I wouldn't be like Texas. I wouldn't do that. That's the only part I disagree there.
Bro, if I'm the number one running back, wide receiver, quarterback, anyone else, I'm going directly to Alabama. But that's what I'm saying. If they're gonna collect every single number one on the basis that these guys are now gonna get paid,
they've been doing it without the pay.
Yeah.
You think these Jersey boys are gonna stay home at Rutgers? You think? I mean, they could possibly
if they get paid.
Shout out Greg.
But I mean, I would love to see it. I would love to see it. But this just changed the entire game of college football, college sports in general. And the whole basis on it is, bro, like, you know, a lot of these players, especially some of them who go and play for Alabama, they're not exactly coming from $1 million families. If you want to get your family breaded, if you want your family to eat, if you want your family to do this, probably going to Alabama every damn time, man.
It's not a bad point at all. However, like, that opportunity to get paid, if you're that good already, no matter what school you go to, it's gonna happen. Like, think about like Mikey Williams. I know that's basketball, but still in high school and everything. Blah blah blah. He plans on going to HBCU, right?
Yeah.
He's gonna still make as much money as the top football player that's going to Bama, even though he's going to not. You know what I mean? Though? But Mikey Williams is a case by case example because he's been the number one prospect since like his 8th grade.
All right, hear me out.
He's gonna make bank.
There's
a bad example.
There's a gym in Alabama that has recently offered the entire Alabama football team, like I think it was like depending on where you played, it was thousands and thousands of dollars simply to wear their shirt when you go and work out.
Yeah.
Only Alabama though. This gym only offered this to Alabama. No other team. These big time.
Alabama's number one.
But my whole point is like
making bank regardless.
They're not going to an HBCU school for one player, bro. Like he's gonna make his money. You're right, AG, but he's not cracking that, and that's my whole point. Like I'm gonna die on that hill because I know what you're saying because you are right 100% in what you're saying, but it does not matter, bro. Same with like Kentucky and Duke. I mean, unfortunately, Duke's gonna lose their head coach and stuff. That might change up a little bit, but though if you are a number one basketball player and like Mikey Williams is a different case scenario right here.
Look at it this way: you're the number one basketball player. And you go to Kentucky with number 7, 4, and 3, you're not gonna be the spotlight as much as if you go to one of the other.
But there's a difference.
So if you're going to Bama with all the other number ones from every other position, there's less pie. There's less pieces of the pie for you.
That's where I disagree.
Everyone else is. However, more money will come in, yes, but you're taking percentages away.
What I'm saying though is we're talking in the difference of individual and team. Individual, yeah, sure, you can make a lot of monies as an individual if you're like that number 7, that number 10 guy. But if you're playing if that number 4, number 7, and number 10 guy go to a team that's number 1, that number 1 team, because of their name, is going to bring in millions of dollars alone. On top of what you bring in as an individual.
Yeah, but you can still go to the 2nd or 3rd best team.
I know, and then but guess what, brother? You're gonna start seeing that bracket of there's gonna be a huge jump in between those teams when it's 1 and 2. Especially for Alabama football, especially for Kentucky and Duke basketball.
I think being able to pay athletes is going to help Bama, or not help Bama. It's going to make them get less prospects because now other schools have something to offer.
Can get paid, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, I see the point as
I get what you're saying, though.
I can agree that Bama, you'll probably make the most money, as we've seen with quarterback Bryce Young earned $1 million, the only person to do it so far.
Yeah.
So I can see where Bama you will, exactly. Like that one person, like nobody else is getting $1 million on Bama. I don't think. Like he's gonna be that face for the next 3 to 4 years. So he'll get that $1 million.
He's QB1, right?
And then everybody else falls into place. Now, if you're Bryce Young and you go to an HBCU, are you getting that $1 million?
Not this.
I don't think
at
so.
All. No shot. No.
So
no
it's
shot.
yeah.
No shot.
So I mean, I just think it's gonna. He's still gonna make. If he went to HBCU, he'll make $500K,
right,
$600K probably.
That's an HBCU example though, but let's compare Alabama to
Clemson. Yeah.
He might have had that mill right now at Clemson too.
Yeah.
I don't think so. I don't think so, bro.
Yeah. I think he would.
Clemson's up there, bro.
It depending on the. It all depends on the player. All depends on the player.
Depends on the player and just what business.
But I also think it's interesting that what's his name? The head coach for Clemson.
Dabo Swinney.
Dabo Swinney. Thank you. He came out and said when players get paid, he don't want to coach no more. So will that interfere with them also getting paid?
Yeah, a little bit ago, right?
You know what I'm saying? So will he be like, listen, I don't want these.
I see some issues coming, bro.
Is he gonna say,
some real
I don't want these top guys that are making millions. I'll take the 200K guys.
Give me the dogs.
Yeah.
Give me the dogs who are here to play, not for the money.
This could get real interesting, bro. This could get real interesting.
This really just changed college. I mean, like big time. Like changing the game.
One of us is gonna be right. I know that. But I really do think that it's going to level out the playing field. They have something to offer now. What could you say? Oh, I'm being recruited by Bama, and I'm Texas, right? I'm the coach of Texas. Oh, well, Bama's my number one right now. All right, see ya. Like, now I can be like, well, look, I got my sports network. I got this. I got these endorsements coming in. We going to make you some money over here, too. Don't worry. And you can be more of the face of the team. You know what I mean?
Coaches got to get real.
That's fair. If you show up.
Coaches and recruiters got to get real, though, bro. Because this is where I see the issue. Now you're making false promises, though. Right? Because you're like, no, Alabama's got money, but we got money, too. But then news comes out that the freshman quarterback that hasn't even played a fucking game yet is getting $1 million, and you're like,
that's QB1.
I know, but like, hear me out. And now you're bringing in other quarterbacks, and you're like, no, but we got Alabama money too. But guess what?
No, they don't have to say Alabama money, but they could say, look, you have more potential here because you're going to be.
But I want the Alabama money. That's the thing. I want Alabama money.
Either, Bryce Young goes out and plays horribly, or
cracks. So I'm more guaranteed than fucking North Dakota State or some shit.
He goes, all right, comparing North Dakota
all right, I'm exaggerating. You're right. I know.
No, I know.
All right, we gotta move on. We'll talk about this all day long.
We'll wrap it up right there. That'll be episode 20. You can find it on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Read up on our blogs, catch up on episodes at russosplaybook.com. Our Twitters at Russo's Playbook, at ItchAG400, Low Black 22.
Yes, sir.
We'll catch y'all next week.
And one thing's guaranteed: one of us will be right.
You got this. One of us will be right. I promise that.
We'll see. We'll run the numbers too. I want to know.
See you later.